you're not that high.
Pretty high.
No, it's not, Neil.
It is.
The cat did it.
That's true.
Mate, stay calm. We do this all the time.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
You'll be fine.
Take your feet back!
Sometimes only a real person will understand.
Hello, Amy.
Hi. I've been in a bit of an accident.
Do you need any emergency services?
No, I think we've got that covered.
Luckily, you can speak to someone at AAMI 24/7.
Neil, you're not that high.
Pretty high.
Well, here we go again for Game 3. It's the AAMI Tier 2 Country Championship Final. You're with Peter Jolly and Terry Liberopoulos to take you through the next 80 minutes of rugby league here on Grand Final Day for the Country Championships. And we've had exceptional games on the program earlier today. The Greater Northern Tigers defeating the Bidgie Bulls by 30-20 in the under-16s. And the Bulls defeating Newcastle in the 18s by 30-28. Who will it be in the Tier 2 Grand Final? Losing the ball. Is that a sign of things to come for Riverina? Kyle McCarthy. Well, he returned to the Riverina after 2 years in the Newcastle Rugby League competition. And he's from the South Sydney Bulls. But everything not going to script so far in this one for Riverina. As the Tigers, opportunity them to pounce. Coming back through the middle of the field they come. This is Marshall Barker. He's from the Moree Boars. Plays it back to Metham. Away to Griffiths. Inching their way down to the Riverina goal line. Metham again. Comes out the back to Keane. He finds Smith. Smith, dangerous, great offload. Duncan is with it. He's going to be pushed towards the sideline, and he's into touch. Well, you can't blame him. The Inverell man into this squad on the wing for the Tigers here today. And of course, our referee, the man with the whistle, is Andrew Astle, officiating in this clash. So wherever you're tuned in watching this game, welcome to the Country Rugby League telecast. Live pitches from Bar TV Sports. Good afternoon to you, Terry Liberopoulos.
Yeah, good afternoon. Now, this Tier 2 competition, it's been going for a few years now. Before it was based on just group sides, and in the last 2 years, it's gone back to regional sides. South Coast won in 2013, and then 2014, the Greater Southern Stars. That was last year, beat North Coast 50-6. Riverina, they haven't been in any final since 2000 when they lost to Newcastle 30-6, and they'll be hoping to win their first one since 1988 when they beat Newcastle 30-24 at Eric Wazzle Oval in Wagga. And that side was coached by Ron Pylan and captained by Neville Irwin. So it's been a long time between drinks for him.
And of course, Eric Wazzle Oval no longer playing host to rugby league games down in the Riverina. They've got their brand new facility in McDonald's Park. And what a great facility that is over the last 4 or 5 years. Of course, developed by Darryl Kelly and the Wagga Wagga City Council. So first penalty of the match here to the Northern Tigers. They're going to shoot it towards the western side of the field. Another superb facility here in Mudgee is Glen Willow Stadium.
Just to let our viewers know that Riverina is made up of teams from the Group 9 and Group 20 Rugby League, while the Greater Northern Tigers, they're made up of players from the Group 4, Group 19 and Group 21 Rugby League competitions.
Well, to get here to grand final day, the Northern Tigers defeated the Western Rams in week 2 at Bathurst by 48 points to 40. And last week at Camden, defeating North Coast by 30 points to 20. While for Riverina, they defeated Northern Rivers in Bathurst by 32 to 16, while they defeated the Great Southern Stars by 14 points last week in Camden. They're on their own goal line here, Riverina. In fact, they're in their in-goal area. So a perfect weighted kick there from the Tigers. It will force the goal line drop out here from Riverina.
We're talking before, it's been a long time between drinks. Riverina have won. Well, for the northern side, which was back then called Northern Division, they haven't won that since 1989 when they beat Western Division 47-8, and that's also the last time they played in a final. So both sides, whoever wins today, it's going to be a historical moment.
And hello to everybody back down there in the Riverina taking this coverage. I know the local Fairfax newspaper down there taking the stream as we telecast out of Glen Willow Stadium here in Mudgee. This is Guy Metham from the Inverell Hawks giving it away to Benjamin Hagan. Back to Metham. Away to Griffiths. Good hands, intercepted. Even better hands there from David Milne for Riverina.
Well, that was Ben Hagan there. I mean, he could have went himself. He looked like he spun out of the tackle. He could have gone himself and scored.
So the Riverina boys, they've spent the last 24 hours here in Mudgee. They came up after lunch yesterday and all sides had dinner together at Club Mudgee, which is right in the centre of town here. So last tackle now for Riverina.
Must have got there before the Fireys did.
They must have. Before the chicken pieces were extinguished out because they had quite a few on display. Oh, big tackle there from Riverina. Here, Terry led, of course, there by Lele.
We're talking about chicken pieces. We had some good ones just before. Fantastic. Thanks to the Country Rugby League for that.
Yeah, they've put on a nice feast here, the Country Rugby League, and they couldn't do it without the support of VB and AAMI, who I guess could be paying the bill after this one. Back it comes this time now to Metham. Here's the kick. Downfield, going in between the fullback and the winger. Johnny Telliega. He's from the Vikings in New Zealand. He came across last year. He's now playing in the Riverina competition with the Griffith Waratahs. Had an outstanding game at the back last week in their victory over the Stars. And he knows how to do a runaway try as well. We've watched that over the last 4 weeks of competition as we've been telecasting the Country Rugby League Championships from the get-go. Of course, back in Foster was week 1, and then we went through to Bathurst and then to Camden, and now finalising grand final day here in beautiful Mudgee. The kick may sit up in goal. It goes touch in goal, back out to the 20.
And a great concept, this Tier 2. As we know, the likes of Newcastle, Illawarra and Canberra, to some extent, have been dominating the country championships, and it gives these other areas the opportunity to play in a final.
As the Tigers, of course, coached by Daryl Rando. What we've seen over the last 4 weeks of competition, the Tigers are a grind and an opposition into the ground pack, and they've got good offloads in them as well when they have the ball in hand. And they're able to make good meters up the middle of the field, and that's on display here as they come towards the 40-metre line. This is Wadwell giving it back on the inside there to Daniel Ritter. Picked up a try last week in Camden. Away to Neen. He finds Griffiths. Keeping it alive. Down to the 20-metre line. It's the last tackle now for the Tigers. Back to Griffiths. He finds Neen. They're coming through on Riverina. They've lost the football. They better go away and pick it up. They do. But they don't come away with the result that they were looking for, Riverina. The Tigers will go back onto the attack 10 metres away from the Riverina goal line.
Yeah, that was David Mill that's dropped the ball there, giving the Tigers a great chance. You know, the opening 9 or so minutes, it's been mostly Greater Northern, but they need to put some points on the board. That you can't dominate field possession in these early stages and not come away with any points.
So Neen putting it in. As the Tigers go inside the 10-metre zone of Riverina. Quick play the football. Back to Smith. He was dangerous from here last week. Could have even been more dangerous to get the first try of the match here. Couldn't. Held up. So it's still on. For the Tigers here. Metham. Away to Neen. The big proppers with it from Aberdeen in Marcus Marsh. 8 metres away. Tigers clawing their way to the goal line, and they'll go close. They're over. First try to the Tigers goes to Guy Metham. Well, he plays for the Inverell Hawks. But most importantly, he plays for the Tigers here in this one against Riverina, and they've opened their account. They lead by 4 points to 0.
Yeah, quick thinking there from the hooker, was able to scoot away, and he did well to get the ball there. The referee right on the spot, and the Tigers had to score there. They had a lot of field position, and in the end, they're up 4-0.
Well, the Tigers last week showed that they definitely will not be a pushover this weekend after putting the North Coast Dolphins to the sword last week, as I mentioned, at Camden. However, they have some injury concerns coming into this match. Gunnedar's Trent Hilton was ruled out after that match in Camden with a shoulder injury. And then Moree Boomerang's Toby Key was selected to replace him for the semi-final, but also pulled out and was stood down from last weekend's top of the table Group 19 clash with Inverell. So the Tigers today, they don't have an 18th man for today's final, with Scone's Justin Apthorpe moving onto the bench after showing his utility value last week to play at both centre and second row. But the way they've started this one, they've started it in grand style, and Riverina haven't quite got themselves together, have they, from their unfateful mistake with their first touch of the football when we saw a knock on to their halfback in Kyle McCarthy. But a long way to go in the match. We've got 28 minutes to go here on the CRL scoreboard. Pictures coming out of Bar TV, and don't forget, get in contact with the commentary team. You can do that a number of ways, but the best way is to hashtag us on Twitter, and that Twitter address, and I know Terry's writing this one down, it's Country Championship Finals. If you'd like to contact us here in the commentary box, and we'll do our best to answer any questions that you'll be able to pose to us in the next 3 hours here from Mudgee. This is Metham, banging it between the fullback and the winger. Milne looking to see if this ball will go over the dead ball line. It does. Just hands it back here to Johnny Taliga, as I mentioned, from the Griffith Waratahs. And James Luff gets us back underway and gives the pass on his left-hand side of the field. And, of course, that was Brent Pike playing the ball for the Riverina side. So they come to the halfway line again through Luff. Picked up a try last week at Camden. Makes good meters from dummy half, just like their fullback, and Telliega. Taken down there from North Tamworth, Shane Wadwell. Makes good meters every time as well. This is McCarthy. Tigers nearly went for the intercept. Didn't quite come off for them here. Referee will put down a scrum here, Terry, 20 metres out from the Tigers line.
I mean, that was definitely much better set from Riverina. Made 70 metres there. Now they've got another 6 tackles inside the 20. It's a great opportunity. It's the first real opportunity they've had to post points on the board.
Well, throughout the week, Riverina coach Josh Cale, he said his side's work without the ball will determine if they are crowned CRL Country Tier 2 championships or fail at the final hurdle. So keep an eye on that as the game unfolds. Here they go, try time coming up to Nathan Rose. 22 years of age, fast and strong. And he's up from the South City Bulls. They're back in the match, Riverina. It's 6-4, kick to come from right in front.
And he did it all himself there. Good step, beat the defence and scored where you want to score, under the post.
This is it on the replay. Look, Tigers just couldn't get him. He was able to fend off Daniel Ritter, the lock forward from Scone, and he knew that he had to get underneath the post for this man on screen now to have the kick from the easiest of positions on the park. So Kyle McCarthy converts. First year back playing in Riverina system after he spent nearly 2 to 3 years playing in the real NRL in the Newcastle Rugby League competition. So he's back where he all started his rugby league career, Kyle McCarthy, back in the Riverina system. So the Tigers banging it downfield to Telliega, and they're on the bring back, and this is Skinner. Now here's the captain of Riverina. He's also the captain and the coach of the South City Bulls in the competition down there.
That's the first penalty for Riverina. Penalty counts 1-1.
Terry Liberopoulos in the commentary box here today for the Country Rugby League. We get around, don't we, Terry? NRL, CRL, Bar TV and everything else in between.
We'll just hope that they take this state of origin to New York City. That would be great.
Via Hawaii, even better. Get some sun before we freeze in the New York.
It's pretty warm now in New York.
Well, it's summer, isn't it? Yeah. Depends when we're going. Do you want to go next week? We might go. This is Telliega, driven into the ground there from the Tigers' defensive line. Back there now to Luff. McCarthy tells O'Sullivan, you better go back and pick it up. O'Sullivan, of course, has played New South Wales Cup for the Newtown Jets. Comes out of West Wyalong, which is about an hour and a half west of Wagga Wagga. As the ball comes down now to Smith out there on the wing. He's from Inverell. So the Tigers, can they match the intensity for the full 80? I guess that is the question. Riverina. They started slow in Bathurst against Northern Rivers, but they came home late to win that one by 16 points. But they dominated the Stars last week at Camden. While the Tigers, they're match hardened, that's for sure. But here we see a tiniest of knock-ons coming up for them. 20 metres out from their own goal line. So another opportunity coming up here for the Riverina side.
It's these mistakes you can't afford to give to the opposition. Riverina are now 20 metres out, and another great chance to hit the front for the first time in the game. Now the advantage Riverina do have is their halves, Nathan Rose and Kyle McCarthy. They're both from the same team, South City Bulls, so they know each other very well.
Johnny Telliega, the Griffith Waratahs, taking the tackle in the centre of the field. Place the ball back this time. It comes back to their charging veteran prop in Brent Pike. coached the 2013 Lake Cargelico side to victory. Back to Wayfield. He scores. He scores for Riverina. That's their second of the match. And that try takes them to the front by 10 points to 6 on the CRL scoreboard.
And again, it's coming off the back of drop ball there from the Northern Tigers. Gave Riverina some good field position, and they made them pay. And it was a nice, simple try in the end from Matt Wakefield.
And this is it on the replay. Check this out. Somersaulted over his way. As we slow it down again and just reached out, and Hayden Crouch from Greta Branxton just looked up and said, well, I tried my best, but I just couldn't stop you from that close to the goal line.
Well, Ben Hagen had a chance to tackle him. He just sort of just went straight through him and then stepped inside, did a twist, and over he went.
So the kick from McCarthy. Hits the post. No change on the CRL scoreboard. Bar TV. Live pictures coming out of Mudgee here today. Contact us, hashtag Bar TV. Hashtag Country Championship Finals. Or hashtag CRL. Plenty of ways to get in touch with us here and make this coverage as interactive as possible. Confidence there shown by O'Sullivan. As I mentioned earlier, played for West Wyalong. In a grand final, just to put your foot out like that and go down and pick it up. Sensational ability. Now this is Nicholas Skinner. As I mentioned, he played lower grades for the Manly Sea Eagles. He's the captain and the coach of the South Sydney Bulls. He's a leader up front, and he's also the leader for the maroon and gold side out here today for Riverina. Rose turning it back on the infield. It comes back there now to Cameron Wu. He's another workhorse. He comes from the Gundagai Tigers. He's the captain and the coach there. So a number of captain and coaches, or just captains, in this Riverina squad here today at Mudgee. So it's the last tackle on the 40 they kick. Going away from Tim Smith. He's got to turn and go away for it. And the Scone fullback thrown into the turf there, ball and all. Of course, there by David Cowan. Of course, David Cowan in defence from Riverina. He comes from the Albury Thunder. Performed well at Bathurst and Camden. And deserves his starting opportunity for the second time in these championships here today at Mudgee. Back to Metham. They just brushed off Cowan, didn't they? The Tigers' defensive man. And, of course, that was Aberdeen's Marsh. Telliega goes high to collect the football above his head. Got a bit of work to do. Was able to beat one. But unfortunately, he can't go any further than Benjamin Hagan from Denman. So they're just on their own 40-metre line, looking to create space up the middle. This is David Milne. Former Raider and Cowboys player Milne, coach of the Griffith Panthers too, down in Riverina territory. This is Cameron Wu. 35 metres away from the Tigers' goal line. Back then out of Cohen. Of course, there's no Andrew Cohen. He injured his big toe in a bike riding accident a few weeks ago. Back it comes this time to Lele. He sees the try line in front of him. He beat one. He's still going, Lele. It's onto the right-hand side for Riverina. McCarthy, he's kicking out wide. Where's Lyons? He tapped it, but it's gone into touch. And what a series Jack Lyons is having for Riverina. In Bathurst, he picked up 4 tries. Picked up one last week in Camden as well. And he nearly had his first of Grand Final Day 2015. As we see now the Tigers here coming back outside their own 30-metre line. And taking the tackle there, it was Skinner over the top. Tigers now cross the 30 towards the 40. McCarthy from Riverina is in there to bring Vidal into the ground. And he's from the West Lions. Back to Metham. Neen turning it back on the inside. They try and go towards the halfway line, and they did that by 2 metres. They come out to the edge of the ruck, out to the edge of the field, out to the winger out there, who of course That's Duncan. Back there now to the kicker. Ball will bounce in between fullback and the winger. Johnny Teliega's got to go back to his own goal line. He's in slow motion, the fullback. Wait till he puts his foot down on the accelerator. Speed to burn. We might have to call on those fireys to put the smoke out at some time in this match, Terry. If they're still around for their conference here in Mudgee.
I still think they're eating their chicken.
Delicious.
Getting hungry again.
You've had a big week on the feed, haven't you? Melbourne Cricket Ground on Wednesday night. How impressive was that?
I think we both had a big feed.
I think we've had to undo the belt, so to speak. Here's the kick now off the boot of Luff.
Couple of notches.
Yeah, new belt for me. Back it comes now to Smith. Drop down on the 40-metre line here. So the black and gold here in the Tier 2 Grand Final. Trailing by 4.
I think if the Tigers spread the ball to the edges, they've got more chance of making good ground.
This is Griffiths. Got it back. Goes to the gap. Taken into the ground here in the afternoon sunshine. Who wants it now? This is Crouch. Greta Brankston local. Plays it as Wakefield gets off him. Here's a gap up the middle of the field about to present itself. Referee will call it up. No, he won't. He says play on. It's gone backwards. It's still on for the Tigers. They come down the sideline. And now Riverina capitalise. They turn defence into attack and go back onto the attack here, Terry. 30 metres out from their own goal line.
That's what they've got to do, throw the ball around on the edges, and that's where they're making the breaks.
Now this is Wakefield. He beat one. Langy, runner of the ball. Bit of aggressive there too as he played the ball back to O'Sullivan. He links up with Lyons, and as you can hear from the crowd effects mic we've got here today, the crowd told the referee that pass went forward. So the scrum will be forming here. Riverina entered the field, as you can see from the shots coming out of Bar TV. The ball is in the possession of the halfback, as you can see there in Matthew Need. He's from the West's Lions. As the ball comes out of the scrum. Eventually going now to Griffiths. He plays the ball. Back to the 4 in Hayden Crouch. 34 metres away from the Riverina goal line. Down by 4. Coach, of course, is Daryl Rando here today. As they come back through the middle of the field. This is Cameron giving it out the back this time to Marcus Marsh. Neen. Away to Smith. Down to the 10-metre line. Last tackle here for the Tigers. Look for the crossfield kick. They may even go themselves. Neen kicking. But Wakefield is there to save the day in his first year with the young cherry pickers, and he's holding down in the tackle here. So a penalty coming up to Riverina. And Andrew Astle had no hesitation whatsoever to give a penalty to Riverina here, and they shoot for touch and they find it here, Terry, 21 metres out from their own goal line.
Look, there was a poor end to that set there from Neen, and then in the end he gave away the penalty, so it was a double whammy.
Teliaga working to the eastern side of the park. This is Cowan. From the Albury Thunder to the halfway line. They bash and barge themselves. This is Michael Iapoa. Big front rower. Came across from Wellington. Now, this man you'll see all day long. Back it comes this time to Luff. Dangerous. Ran out of puff. Luff, 24 metres out from the Tigers' goal line. Now he's more than out of puff. He's
got hit high there.
He's puffed out. And time off here, so we'll stop the clock at the 27th minute interval and 45 on the clock on top of that. So 27 minutes, 45 seconds we've had here in the first half. And they're just going over to check out James Luff, who's a Gundagai local.
Do you go for the kick for goal? I know you don't like the kick for goal. You like to go for the touch, but they're 4 points ahead.
I think he just...
I think he's going for the...
Keep it going, you think?
He's listening to you, P.
Not many do. Not many do. But Luff, he spent 2 years with the West Tigers in the New South Wales Cup too, Terry. So back this time to Michael Iapo.
A lot of experience there in that Riverina side.
They do. And speaking of that, this is Rose. He's fast and strong. Plenty of experience on the edge. This is Lele. Always looking for a gap. Looking for a hole. And you know that the play is always going to continue until he's on his back right there. This is McCarthy. Dangerous. Spinning. 4 metres away from the Tigers' goal line. Rose looking for his second. Giving it out the back to Burns. Overlap out wide. Back to Wu. And he woos everybody to score for Riverina. Individual effort there from Cameron Wu. We know he's a workhorse as a captain and the coach for the Gundagai Tigers. We know he's going to be a workhorse and a try scorer all day here as well for Riverina. They lead by 14 points to 6. Talk us through that play, Terry Liberopoulos.
Mate, they did great job there from Riverina to keep the ball alive. It was a 5'8", Nathan Rose. He bounced off a defender, as you can see there on the replay. Bounced him off, kept the ball alive, gave it back to Aaron Burns, and that quick pass to Cameron Wu, and he just had too much momentum, too much strength to go over. Lucky they didn't go for the kick for goal.
As the 141 plane comes in from Sydney to Mudgee here. Actually, I believe they've started flights between Sydney and Mudgee again in this part of the world.
4-seater or something.
That's why we came in the 5-seater car. We didn't come with Shane Richardson though. Here's the kick. Oh, it just fades across the right-hand side of the post. So no change here on the Country Rugby League scoreboard. Bar TV providing the pictures here as we count down to the big one at 3 o'clock. The AAMI Tier 1 Country Championship Final between Canberra and Illawarra. If you've just clicked onto the coverage, it's been a phenomenal day for everybody concerned with the Bidgie region down there in that part of the world, because being represented in every match across the program here today. Just to go through the program earlier on in the day, we had the under-16s. We might come back to that as the Tigers have been able to fall on a loose ball carry. This is Donnelly taking the tackle there of McCarthy.
Go to the right.
That's the way they come. Neen giving it away to Griffiths. This is Tim Smith. Cowan knocks him into the turf there. Ended up taking his legs from downstairs. This is Griffiths. Away to Ritter. Thought for a moment he wanted to pop that pass. Back it comes now to Neen, going from dummy half himself. Held up. Well, he's right on the spot there, Astle. And he was quick to award that decision. So back to the Tigers. They'll have another crack here. It's the last tackle, though. So what will they do? Will they kick it in the in-goal area and get another set of 6 back? What's their option here? It comes back to Barker. He goes across field. Now there's space up the middle. It's the last tackle. Marsh has got to offload the football. Maybe he didn't know, Terry. It was the last tackle. Change over back to Riverina.
I don't think he knew.
No.
He was trying to get the ball away, and that's a great opportunity gone begging for the Greater Northern Tigers.
Well, you need to come away with a more structured end of the set than that, I think, on grand final day if you're going to be any contender. Maybe if they had their time over again, we wouldn't have witnessed what we watched out of the tinted glass commentary box here. As they play the ball back, it comes away to Skinner. The 11 is with it, and this is Cameron Wu. Wrapped up there from Daniel Ritter. Over the halfway line they come. This is Pookie. Backer comes to the 7. Kicking it downfield, McCarthy. Going away to collect it is the Tigers. So both sides feeling the impact. It's been a fast 33 minutes of the first half here in the T2 Rugby League Grand Final. And we're not too far away from the big one at 3 o'clock. Who will it be? Who will be crowned title holders after 80 minutes of football in the match between Illawarra and Canberra? Of course, Illawarra, they've won it for the last 2 years. They're going for a hat-trick. Canberra, not so title holders for a long time. Is it their day today? Could it be the Tigers' day if they can get back into this one? Maybe that could well be the case. Griffiths, he scores underneath the post for the Northern Tigers. They're back into the match now. 14-10 kick to come.
And they definitely needed that. They went close to scoring before when they were hurled up, but that was a good break there down the sideline there by Ben Hagan, and he did well to slow down, let his teammates catch up to him, and then the flying Joey Griffiths got the ball, and away he went for the try.
Here it is on the replay. Take a look at this beautiful ball running mode by Barker. Support was coming left and right. He wanted to go away from the touchline, and it proved to be costly in the end to the Tigers.
They're the try scorer there, Griffiths, full marks to him. He was the one that gave the pass away to Hagan. Nice little pass, and he followed him through, collected the ball, and went over for the 4-pointer.
So the kick. Crowd building in here. We've got a few thousand in here now. They've made their way up from Wagga Wagga. They've come from Newcastle. They've come from Muswellbrook and surrounding areas to be here on grand final day. And the rugby league that we've witnessed in the last 6 hours or so, it's been top class rugby league. Smith converts the try. This one as well, going down to the last minute possibly. First half here, 14 points to 12 on the CRL scoreboard. AAMI Country League Championship Day for 2015 under blue skies here in Mudgee. Where else would you rather be the day here in Mudgee? Nowhere. Glen Willow Park. Brilliant facility housing this I guess it's the most prestigious tournament that country rugby league players can play in at this representative level. And I know, of course, the under-18s is going to be announced shortly as well. And we'll go through the team that will be going away for that clash. The under-16s has already been announced as well. So the Tigers now towards the 40-metre line. Great pass back on the inside. They're away. Can they have support? No, they can't. 2 metres inside, Riverina territory. Now to Cameron. Goes short there to Hagan. Last tackle now for the Tigers. Off the boot of their halfback. Swirling ball. Diffused brilliantly there by their fullback in Johnny Tiliega. As I mentioned, came away from the Vikings in rugby league territory over there in New Zealand. Wellington, I think you'll find he came out of before he came across to progress his rugby league career with the Griffith Waratahs. And Dave Skinner said throughout the week, who's the CRL manager, that he wants to crack New South Wales Cup down the track as well. So we wish him well in his endeavours to do just that. Skinner giving it away to Cowan. He's up from the Albury Thunder competition, who's been the dominant side in that part of the world over the last 3 or 4 years. McCarthy kicking the ball downfield. We've got 3 minutes to go on the official scoreboard here at the ground. Our clock is just a minute or so behind, so we'll keep you up to date with the exact...
It's out of breath.
It is out of breath. Maybe it's like Luff. He was puffed before he gained a few more puffs in him. How are you going, Terry? You've been around the world in the last 2 days as well. How are you shaping up? Quite well?
Yeah, I'm losing a bit of calories.
Donnelly's creeping into the ground, isn't he? Now he extends his margin. Opens up his legs like a giant spider, I guess. Backer comes this time now. They spin it to the right-hand side of the park. The Tigers are not going anywhere through Crouch. Picked up and driven by Kossi Lele. 31 metres away from the goal line. Backer comes to Griffiths. Good ball. Kenny offload. He does offload. Great hands. It's on the ground. Kicked ahead. Could be play on. Now they counter punch. Riverina. This is Lyons. He's going to kick for himself. Can he get it back? He picked up 4 in Bathurst. Couldn't quite get the ball there. And Joel Harrison picks it up for the Tigers, 40 metres out from his own goal line.
Well, going back to Greater Northern Tigers, when Tim Smith went through that gap there, I don't think he needed to pass that ball.
Well, I don't think Lyons needed to kick it as well. It was on the second or first tackle.
Yeah, well, first I think it was 0 tackles. So.
Yeah. So maybe a bit of a brain explosion there to the winger in Jack Lyons. As I said, he's got a speed machine, and I guess he backs his own strength and ability. As I mentioned, he plays for the South Sydney Bulls. He picked up 4 tries in Bathurst in week 3, but couldn't quite come off for him here in the grand final thus far. Last tackle now for the Tigers. They go high to the air. Speaking of Lyon, he's got to go up for it. What a take!
It's going to be mid-air tackle.
He's clutching at his right shoulder too, Lyons. We might have a look on the replay at that tremendous leap. Well, we've come away from the Melbourne Cricket Ground with a bit of AFL in us. Maybe Lyons has done just that as well. Tremendous leap. He wouldn't be out of Geelong playing like that, Terry.
No, it was a great leap, but he, in the end, he got a penalty for his side, but he could have got a shoulder injury.
And that's what we don't want to see. Because if you lose Jake Lyons, you lose a lot of strength out on the edge. He's the quickest in the game in the Riverina. Look at this. Exceptional take. Came down awkwardly on that shoulder.
I think to his defence, the Great Northern Tigers player, he was just looking at the ball and he sort of just ran into him.
Well, taking his eyes off the ball is that man on your screen right there in Aaron Burns.
Well, we've got 25 seconds to go, so probably just won't even have enough time to pack the scrum.
But the clock continues to tick along. So a dangerous period. They'll get possibly
maybe get 1 tackle.
1 tackle. Maybe look for the kick here. The position of the fullback is deep, but they just take it forward through Harrison. And the siren goes in the background. Half-time here in the Tier 2 Country Championship Grand Final. It is a close one, isn't it? Riverina leading by 14 points to 12.
Look, a great first half from both sides. And Riverina to grab their first title since 1988. The same for the Tigers since 1989. So it's anybody's game. Looking forward to the second half.
Yeah, indeed. So what we might do, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break and come back for the second 40. Who's it going to be? Riverina or the Tigers at the back end of the next 40 minutes. A break and back to Mudgee after these short messages.
Neil, you're not that high.
Pretty high.
No, it's not, Neil.
It is.
The cat did it.
That's true.
Mate, stay calm. We do this all the time.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
You'll be fine.
Don't get beat back!
Sometimes only a real person will understand.
Hello, Amy.
Hi. I've been in a bit of an accident.
Do you need any emergency services?
No, I think we've got that covered.
Luckily, you can speak to someone at AAMI 24/7.
Neil, you're not...
Real guys, real sport, Bar TV.
When I played professional footy, it was all about the training and what I ate. Champions don't run on junk food. So if you want to get the most out of your game and your life, you've got to put the right stuff in. Don't undo all your hard work with what you eat and drink. And after a game, think fruit and water. When the whistle blows, Make sure you finish with the right stuff.
Authorised by
Yeah, well, we're back here at half-time here in the Tier 2 Rugby League Grand Final. It's at Riverina with their nose in front by 14 points to 12. Well, a great day had by one and all here in the Mudgee district. Not just are we here to look at the atmosphere on Grand Final day, but also a lot of the NRL behind-the-scenes staff have come along for the road trip as well. And Andrew Hill, he's the General Manager of League Integration and Game Development in at Moore Park, and he's in our broadcast box this afternoon. Good afternoon, Andrew. Mate, a brilliant day. We've seen some great football, and all is in good willingness, I guess, for the big one at 3 o'clock between Illawarra and Canberra as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. Look, I think the first two games have been outstanding. Hard not to be impressed with the quality of our players. I mean, the athleticism, the skill level. I mean, we saw a try in the 18s where ball was going out over the dead ball line, knocked back to win the game. I mean, just we see it on a weekend, you know, watching the Telstra Premiership, but you're here at Mudgee and you're watching it in the under-18s country championships. It's fantastic.
And mate, what a great facility it is out here for the people in this region. It's first class, isn't it?
Yeah, well, up here now, looking at the state of the ground, it's as good as any stadium that we watch the Telstra Premiership. And of course, the NRL have been here before, with Parramatta and the Titans playing, and Country City game a couple of years ago. So it's certainly something that the region should be very, very proud of, and I think it's great for us to be here today.
Well, I guess a lot of people like myself would love to know a day in the life of what you actually do in there at the NRL. Is every day the same? Or I guess it's not every day, would be very, very vast, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Look, my role is look. I think I've got the best role in the game. It's a whole of game role. So I manage the elite programs, so from the Australian Kangaroos all the way down to the pathways. Leave Mudgee tomorrow morning and head to St Mary's in Western Sydney to open up this Australian Secondary Schools Under 15 Championships, and then all the way down to supporting the state leagues and the schools competitions of the Under 6s all the way through. So about 400 staff nationally work within game development, and along with our wonderful volunteers who run our junior league and senior clubs, do a marvellous job. And look, just earlier this morning we had the Women in League leadership workshop where we invited 20 or 30 of the local league administrators in, and Susan Young, the Chief Operating Officer, joined myself and Shane Richardson, who's also here today, just to thank them for a marvellous job that they do for, of course, the greatest game of all, rugby league.
That's it. We love our rugby league, and especially out in this part of the world, everybody loves the local rugby league side, which plays out of this stadium actually in the Mudgee Dragons, and they feature here tomorrow. But yeah, the fascinating insight there, and no doubt with your role, it takes you all over the countryside. What can we expect to look forward to for the remaining of the season? We've got the big State of Origin coming up, the big decider up at Suncorp Stadium, and then of course, I guess, you start planning for the grand final series.
Yeah, it never ends. It's only 12 months of the year. I think most people appreciate this time of the year is very much a heavy representative season for our junior and senior leagues. So in the midst of, obviously here today with the country championships, as I said earlier, the Australian secondary schools start in the under 15s tomorrow, and then in a couple of weeks down at Wollongong, the under 18s.
Well, I was down at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. I was actually doing the live stream for NRL.com the other day for the under 18s it was, and Queensland got up in the last few minutes. But I know Rugby League hasn't been at the Melbourne Cricket Ground for nearly 18 years, but just hearing the crowd the other day at the MCG, they've just come to know the rules a lot bigger, and I guess that comes back into the development and the education that you guys are doing in that part of the world to educate not just the little kids coming through the school, but also the mums and dads and everybody in between.
Yeah, definitely. Look, it was a long-term role for the game to really integrate ourselves across Victoria. As you said, 20 years. We've got great growth in junior league, and participation's growing, and I think generationally now you're seeing those players coming up, and 2 or 3 of them have actually now played first grade or Holden Cup, which are local Victorians, which is fantastic for the game.
It is. Well, Andrew, we appreciate coming into the box. We know you're a pretty busy man here today as a guest of the CRL as well, and we look forward to everything that you'll be able to do in at the NRL and onwards and upwards from here.
Fantastic. Thanks for the opportunity to join you.
No worries, mate. We appreciate that. Hopefully we'll get to see you up in Lang Park for the big decider in a few weeks' time. Who will that be, Queensland or New South Wales, in the 2015 State of Origin series? Well, who's it going to be here in the 2015 Country Rugby League Championship Series? In the Tier 2, we've got the Tigers trailing at the moment by just 2 points as they go on the attack out wide. And Usala O'Sullivan comes over the top there from Riverina. So back down to the kick. This is Neen. The ball may bounce. Rose just stands up and says, "Come on, Telliaga, you come and pick the ball up. You're one of the fastest members of our back line." And he does that. He answers the call from Rose. This is Wu taking the tackle there of the 14. Now away this time to Burns. We've got everybody congregating around our commentary box. Not sure if that's a sign that they want to watch the TV or they're just trying to hear Terry Liberoropoulos' commentary along with his sandwiches that he's got here. This is McCarthy. He's gone straight through. He's away. He'll score. He's over for Riverina. Kyle McCarthy. He's back into the Riverina system after spending 2 years in the Newcastle Rugby League. Full of experience. And that experience has got Riverina onto the score sheet for the first time in the second half. They lead by 18 points to 12 as we go to check out the kick from the touchline to see if he can able to convert his own try. Kyle McCarthy right out on the eastern touchline. Well, McCarthy plays for the South Sydney Bulls. We know he's a Diamondite halfback. And if you ever want a game changer or even a game breaker in your rugby league side, look no further than the halfback from Riverina in Kyle McCarthy, one of the veterans in the Riverina system. Here's the kick now, looking to convert his own try. Kicks a beauty. Flags go up here at Glen Willow Sporting Stadium here in Mudgee. Riverina back in control. They lead by 20 points to 12.
Not a good start there for the Tigers. Great start for Riverina. And it's very important the Tigers bounce back and score, the next to score, because like in the previous games, we know that Riverina can finish games very strongly.
Well, Josh Cale, he said this week his sides work without the ball will determine if they are crowned CRL Country Tier 2 championships. What he's meaning by that is defence. Defence will win you contests. That's a given. But obviously his game plan is up through the middle and holding out the onslaught, hopefully in this set of 6 coming up from the Tigers here. Well, they've given them the opportunity again to pounce, haven't they, here at the Riverina side?
A great opportunity for the Tigers. And a big cheerio also to Johnny Bonanno, who's made his way up here to Mudgee. He's taking photos for Rugby League Review, and he's come up with me today. So big cheerio there.
2 metres away from the Riverina goal line. As we had the CEO, Terry Quinn, there, just coming in to check out the operation here on grand final day. Tigers down by 8. Away to Griffiths. He finds Hagan. Wrapped up there from Brent Pike. Coming short. Good ball on the inside. Back to Cameron, keeping it alive. They come out to the edge of the park. The winger is with it in Harrison. He's close to the line. He'll reach out and nearly go all the way. A metre out from the line. This might bring a sin bin here. I don't know if the referee will put him into the bin in the grand final. Probably not. Penalty sufficient on their own goal line.
It's only the second penalty for the Tigers.
It was indeed. You'll hear the roar of the crowd now. They've brought their spectators with them. The Tigers. This is Barker. He'll play it back now to the right-hand side of the park. Who wants it? This is Marsh. Giving it away to Benjamin Hagan. He gives it away to Griffiths. Griffiths is close. A metre out from the goal line. Here come the Tigers. Back away now to the left-hand side of the park. Where's Smith? He wants the ball. He flicks it out the back. Back to Cameron. He juggles it. Back it comes to Vidler. He tried to fend away from Skinner. A metre away from the goal line. Back to Smith. He'll score, is he? No. He's held up. Held up. No try. 4th tackle. So the Tigers will get another opportunity here. That was the 4th, as I mentioned. Back it comes now. Here's the kick into the in-goal area. Riverina, they've got to go away and save it, clean up the dregs, and they do that exactly there through their electrifying speed machine in Jack Lyons. Now this is the fullback in Johnny Telliega. Wrapped up all in all there, Terry, just on his own side of the 20-metre line. Slowly to his feet as well, the fullback.
They had plenty of opportunity there to cross the try line there. Riverina hanging on very well.
We've had brilliant games, very close games right throughout today. A penalty coming up to Riverina here on their own side of the 10-metre line. Well, they're trying desperately, aren't they, to come off their own goal line. So they've got that opportunity now as the referee gives a penalty through Andrew Astle. And they find the line off the boot of McCarthy. 8-point ball game here on the Country Rugby League live stream. This is the AAMI Tier 2 Country Championship Grand Final. This is Luff. Away this time to Iapo. Tigers 40-metre line. Luff. McCarthy. Offloading the pass to O'Sullivan. As I've said, played for the Newtown Jets. Comes from West Wyalong. Iapo again. He had a stint in the New South Wales Cup, actually, with the Canterbury Bulldogs. Now to Rose. Dangerous, elusive. Look at the strength, giving it away. They're keeping it alive. Well, if they score here, they can put it down to that play. This is Skinner. Last tackle now for Riverina. Where will it go? They'll kick it in the in-goal area. It's come off a Tiger. Back to Riverina. Now, he's going to say that wasn't played at. I think that was unfortunate there for Riverina.
Well, I don't think that the kick was the right place to put the kick in. Should have spread it to the left, maybe put the bomb up.
Eight-point ball game. As the Tigers coming back outside their own 20-metre line. They're skipping away from tacklers, aren't they? But Skinner says, come back here. You're not going to skip away from me. That's why I'm called Mr. Skinner. I'll skin you into the ground here at Mudgee. Good ball. Great ball. Good tackle. Equal tackle there from James Luff. Quick play the ball here for the Tigers. They go over the halfway line. This is Smith. Cleaned up there from Matthew Wakefield.
Two great runs there from the Tigers.
Cameron. Smith. Hagan losing it. Riverina clean it up through Brent Pike. Now to Milne. Coach of the Griffith Panthers, actually. Former Raider in lower grades. Also played lower grades with the North Queensland Cowboys.
And their Panthers are the Griffith Black and Whites.
This is Lele. Plays for the Griffith Waratahs. Also played for Cronulla. And the Bulldogs as well. This is Warren Lloyd. A mobile, big Englishman. Playing front row. He's also played a lot of footy on the wing. Plays for the local side in the Wagga Kangaroos. And Warren Lloyd, he switched from centre to front row in his playing days, and that's helped him gain a role in Riverina's team, I guess. Making the switch to help bulk up the Roos' small forward pack, but it's also been the key to securing a Riverina berth in this representative match for him. He's also played in the Group 20 with stints with Leeton and the Griffith Black and Whites. As the Riverina side goes straight through, this is Lloyd. Speaking of him, he's got the try. The Englishman's over. Well, Lloyd, he knows he's not playing in England. The sun's well out here in Mudgee.
And it was just too easy there. We got the pass there from Nathan Ross and straight through. And that came off the back of a penalty. The Northern Tigers, they dropped the ball. They had two great runs in the previous set. They knocked on, lost the ball, gave away a penalty, and now they paid the price. And now Riverina one step closer to winning this game.
Yeah, as I said, he transformed from a centre to play front rower. And that's helped Warren Lloyd's football career reach a new level. Lloyd, isn't he preparing this side, Riverina's quest to win the first title since 2010? And he's off the bench today. Here's the kick from McCarthy, hits the post and goes over. So try converted there from Kyle McCarthy. Riverina leading the Tigers by 26 points to 12.
Well, the 2010 is when Group 21, the Tier 2, but as Riverina, like I said before, they haven't won that since 1988.
And as I mentioned, the Englishman, he came over from England. He represented the Group 20 with stints with Leeton and the Griffith Black and Whites. He received his first Riverina jumper this year. And no doubt, if he stays in the competition, he'll be getting a Riverina jersey for plenty of more seasons to come. Very versatile front rower, big bonus for their coach, isn't it, in Josh Cale? He only got limited opportunities on the field against the Greater Southern side in last Saturday's semi-final. But hasn't he left his mark here in the grand final? And he said throughout the week that he was pretty excited and everything's been going fairly well since he came across from England, and here he is right now with the ball. He wants to stay in the Riverina. He makes a lot more tackles than what he did out wide when he was playing in the centres. He said it's a lot tougher as you have nowhere to hide. And he is not hiding in attack, is he? As the Tigers now come away with the ball just outside their own 40-metre line. Comes back this time to Hayden Crouch. 10 metres out from the halfway line again. Back to Metham. This may bring a penalty. It does. Not back the 10. With our man in the middle with the whistle. And Andrew is still. So they'll shoot for touch here, the Northern Tigers. With 26 minutes remaining in the contest. And they may not find touch. A costly error. David Milne has done well for the maroon and gold side here, Terry, to batter the ball back into the field of play.
Just puts Riverina back on the attack, but I think that's lucky for the Tigers there that they lost the ball there, gives them the opportunity. They need to score next. Another try from Riverina will be, I think the far lady will come out.
Don't know which room she's going to come out of, but she'll be getting dressed as we speak, that's for sure. She'll grace the field shortly. This is the halfway line, and this is the centre in Aaron Donnelly. Terry Liveropoulos on fire here in the Country Rugby League box as they about to centre the play to the middle of the park. Coming up to 20 past 2 local time. As we count down to the 3 o'clock fixture, the Tier 1 Country Championship between Illawarra and Canberra. This is Griffiths. Tackle there from Nathan Rose, his opposite number. Away to Metham. He finds Smith. This is Wadwell from North Tamworth. Last tackle, penalty, equals coach killer. Holding down in the tackle. So the tap will take place, and it comes away this time to Neen. Firing it away again, and the Tigers, are they about to pounce here? Down by 14 points on the CRL scoreboard. They go from dummy half. Telliega in there from the Riverina side. Back it comes this time to Neen. Away to Tim Smith. Ball's in the touch.
That pass, was never on there from Tim Smith. They had a great chance there. They had 6 tackles there, repeat set, and now they're just giving the ball back to Riverina.
Well, the coach, exactly what his script wanted to be at this time of the match. Josh Cale has said to us throughout the week at a few press conferences that we all went to, he said that defense, it's all about that. And didn't we see that right now to stop the Tigers from pouncing here? This is Wadwell. Makes good meters. Made 10 there. This is Barker from the Moree Boars. To his own 40-metre line. 10 metres in from the eastern touchline. Where will it come now, Terry? Comes over the halfway line, doesn't it? That's exactly what happens. Away to Wakefield. Gets the legs pumping. He's from the Young Cherry Pickers. First year with Young, down from the Central Coast. Back to McCarthy. Finds touch. Oh, he's got it on string today. He finds touch 20 metres out from the Tigers' goal line. We might go through the under 18s, I think. Terry, what do you reckon? We might give everybody an idea of who's going across the ditch to take on representative duty in the next few weeks. At fullback, we have McGrady. He's from the Rebels. So the Newcastle player has done well to be selected to represent Country 18s. Got Cootamundra Smith. We've got Sawtell's Hart. Aitken from Shell Harbour. Wormsley from Scone. Burke and Hons and Ingram and Kennedy. Bryce Kennedy, an outstanding game in the earlier match. Of course, Kennedy is the son of Ben Kennedy. He went around in the NRL for many a year with the Newcastle Knights and won the 2001 premiership over the Parramatta Eels. Callagher, Macaulay, Burns, Hoskins, Kera, Hatkins and Jeffries from Cowra. So a fair share of spread across the regional divisions, which is great to see.
It'll be a great trip there for the young guys.
It will be, and one man that's taking them on the trip of a lifetime is Chock Anderson, who's the CRL chairman at this time. How's everything going for you today, Chock?
Very good. No, it's a terrific day, and the football's been fantastic, especially in the 18s where 2 points separated them at the end. And I think there's some very happy boys when they're selected in the side.
Trip of a lifetime, mate, that is for sure. And good luck over there in New Zealand. And then, of course, we have the country firsts going around later on in the year up in Darwin and Fiji. So it's a big back end of the calendar coming up for the country rugby league. And that man who you were just able to hear there, John Chock Anderson.
Can we do a live stream from Fiji?
Yes. Back to Hagan. He just organised the feed and we'll go. 25 metres out from the goal line.
I'll organise the feed.
Thanks.
Chicken and rice.
Thanks, Terry. We might even get a commercial deal out of this with one of the airlines. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Back it comes this time to the 4 in Crouch. Taking the tackle here, just in from touch on the western side of the field. Comes back to Griffiths. He finds Neen. He goes high to the air. Lyons is out there. Jumps up into the afternoon sun and comes down with it.
Did very well looking into the sun there.
He better get used to that if he's off to Fiji. Beautiful sunsets over there, I'm led to believe.
Yeah.
With the coconuts and everything else that goes with it.
Hopefully they've got all the live stream equipment.
Well, if they haven't, we can certainly take it along for the ride.
We'll just go over there and have a look and see if they've got the equipment, and if they haven't, they haven't.
Well, we tried to get to Hawaii last year when the City Country side went over there and played the Hawaiian second division. That was interesting. Try and Google that on YouTube. Interesting how Americans televise rugby league. It's just worth the watch and the glimpse to just see how it's televised. They could learn a thing or two, I guess, watching rugby league here in Mudgee as the tackle count. It's up to about 3 here from Astle. .40-metre line. Not long on the clock. We're halfway through the second half here on Grand Final Day 2015. Tiny knock on here on the 30-metre line of Riverina. So a few errors creeping into this one towards the back end. 14-point ball game here in the T2 Grand Final. As we have a lot of NRL special guests joining us throughout the day here on the Country Rugby League live stream feed here from Mudgee. It's been a big 24 hours of rugby league here in Mudgee, and also the Firemen's Conference has brought the town to a standstill as far as accommodation goes. If you didn't have your accommodation booked 6 months out from this weekend, you were struggling. Jamie Feeney, no stranger to the live streams in 2015, is in the box. How are you going, Jamie?
Yeah, very good, thanks, mate. really enjoying the football here today, and Mudgie's certainly turned on the weather for us.
Sure has. Bit of a cold morning, but a stellar of an afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate. It is really good time for football.
It really is. And this is Warren Lloyd, the Englishman, losing the ball, picked up a try only 10 minutes ago.
He's really made an impact every couple of games that I've watched him play now. They leave him off for a very long period of time, and then get him on there, he always makes a bit of a difference.
Well, as we were just saying before you came into the box, Jamie, he played a lot of centres in his junior days, and he's made the switch from centre to front rower, and I guess that's helped him gain that spot on the bench. And as you say, when he comes on here, he's just carving them up, isn't he?
He's a big body. He's a big body, and after all the defence that the Northern Division have had to do so far, he certainly makes an impact through there, trying to stop him as big as he is.
And of course, he comes from the Wagga Kangaroos in his second season with the club, and he's boosted the Kangaroos small pack by 100-fold. We've got time off here. Speaking of him, he's going to be called over here maybe. Just a bit of a chat on the run.
Yeah. No, it's not a very good penalty to give away. Late in the tackle count, and you hold on to their legs just too long. Give you a set of 6 on the try line.
So the Tigers searching to get themselves back into this contest. This is Justin Apthorpe, away to Metham. He finds Ritter. He's from Scone. Metham awaits in a dummy half. Back to Barker. Short ball. Away to Hagan. He'll be hard to stop from there. They can't put him on his back. Stands in the tackle. This is Smith. Back to Neen. Good ball. Good running of the ball. Could be a try. No. A metre away from the goal line.
It's a great tackle from the lock there.
Here come the Tigers. Picked up by Riverina. And they're away. They're over the 30. They're up to the 40. And that was Nathan Rose. Well, they turned defence into attack. And this is where they've got the football through Lyons. He picked up 4 tries in Bathurst. Hasn't crossed the line so far here today. Now to McCarthy. Back to Lloyd. He's been smashed. 30 metres out from the Tigers' goal line. Back to Rose. He finds Skinner. Of course, he's the captain coach.
Yeah, he's been very strong throughout their campaign in the country championship so far. He's been leading from the front, and I'm sure he does with his words as well.
This is McCarthy. Played a bit of Newcastle Rugby League before coming back to the Riverina this year. Now to Rose, kicking it into the in-goal area. They've got to trap the Tigers in here. Let's see if they can do just that. Over the dead ball line, the Tigers go. More pressure coming up now for the Tigers.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of defence lately, and they're just going to have to keep trying to work hard. I think if the Riverina can cross here, mate, they've not put the nail in the coffin.
So, mate, we've selected the under-16s and we've selected the under-18s, and everybody's off to New Zealand in the coming weeks.
Yes, they are, mate. And we've got the country first and the country seconds to select this afternoon as well. But they'll be selected after the completion of the Tier 1 final.
And it's my understanding those games will be played in Fiji and Darwin towards the back end of the year?
So country seconds will be going up to Darwin. No, that's only in 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough to have the country first side. We go to Fiji in October, so first week of October. So really looking forward to that.
Indeed.
And, there's some good quality here, mate. So we'll have a good side to go over there and take on the strength, I think, of the Fiji side.
I've just checked the digital technology. Live streams are available too. Back to Lloyd. He's put down 2 metres away from the goal line. He'll play it back now. Where's Riverina going to go here? Options left and right. Back it comes this time to Rose. He goes himself. Dangerous. Stepping, weaving. There's the support. Back to Lloyd. Can he get his second try? He flicks it out the back. And Luff. He scores for Riverina. Well, he's not out of puff Luff, is he, Jamie? And scores for the left-hand side of the post. Is very that the good match for Riverina?
Very good, Pete.
6 out of 10?
5.5, mate.
Thanks, mate.
But, mate, actually, live streaming our game over there in Fiji, I'd be really interested in getting you to call some of the names that we're going to come up against. Mate, imagine what they're going to be.
Well, if I can't get Englishmen right, I've got no chance. No, I do a bit of the Queensland Cup on Papua New Guinea TV, and wow. They are tongue twisters, aren't they?
They would be,
The
mate.
Papua New Guinea side. And just on that, they ended up taking their Queensland Cup game to Port Moresby. I don't know if you watched that match last week. They got 16,000 to that match.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I've been over in to play in some old boys games. You know, some charity games over there. Over to Papua New Guinea a couple of times. And the first year we had Queensland versus New South Wales one, so ex-NRL players that played for both states, and then the next time we actually played against the PNG old boys side, and mate, I reckon if they kept the gates open, no one would be able to sit down anywhere. The amount of people that we got there, they love their footy over there, and they'll support anyone that goes over there and plays. So, mate, it doesn't surprise me they've got that many there for a Q Cup game.
Yeah, it's Papua New Guinea. The area here in the Ngol area. Yeah, PNG Hunters doing great things to, I guess, develop the game of rugby league over there as well.
And we've seen some players of Islander descent really come ahead in the NRL. So they're hoping to get a few more through, and this is a great pathway for those local players over there that have the strength but haven't been seen to get to be seen now and get that opportunity to play NRL one day. Great concept.
And the Country Rugby League is another pathway for nurturing talent to go on to bigger and better things in their rugby league careers as well.
Yeah, most certainly. And you see that each and every year when we got the City Country games. Obviously, the boys that are playing that at the top level, they've all started somewhere, and many of the players have come through our divisional system like this. I was one of them. I know Andrew Ryan was, and there was so many. You can name them. Alex McKinnon played for Northern Division 2. You just could keep naming them all day, and this is a great pathway for them to be seen. And
Tim Smith, he's from Scone, was able to finish off that backline move for the Northern Tigers, as you're about to see on the Bar TV replay coming up. Mate, life after football, how's it been?
Mate, it's been great. As you know, I called our New South Wales junior rep games with you a few weeks ago, and so I now work for New South Wales Rugby League. Since finishing up with football, I sort of coached in. I finished in 06 playing with Melbourne. I coached for Melbourne for the next 3 years, running a feeder club for them, and then went back to using my teaching degree, and have taught for the last 5 or 6 years until getting the role with New South Wales Rugby League now, and running all the junior rep state programs. So it's great life after football for me at the moment, and really enjoying watching the New South Wales kids run around and running the programs, and actually running the water on the MCG is probably a highlight of my off-field coaching career so far. So, mate, had a great day on Wednesday night. We didn't get the result, but the players have certainly learned a lot, which is mine and Freddie Fittler's role is to do that. So
yeah, it was
really
a phenomenal night, wasn't it? Terry and myself, we were there calling the under-18s.
Yeah, right. Well, I was a yellow shirt running around there behind him,
screaming
at him, mate, screaming at him. So that was me.
And of course, Fayu got that match-winning try for the Maroons, and what a player he's going to go on and be.
Yeah, he did. Unfortunately for us,
but
it was a great game. I think both sides would have learned a lot, which is what these games give the opportunity to these boys to play on the big stage and play their age groups state of origin, I guess, and they learn a lot and develop a lot through those camps, and take it back to hopefully help their other teammates and become leaders of those teams, and pass on the knowledge and hopefully develop the whole game, and that's our aim, and I think a game such as that taught both sides a lot about how to play that level of football.
Then we head off to Lang Park in a few weeks' time for the under-20s. New South Wales and Queensland. You're running the water bottles that night?
I am, mate. Yeah, I did it for the 16s. I've done it for the 18s, and I'll do it for the 20s. And mate, to be honest, in between that, we this week we go to Townsville, and the New South Wales women's team plays the Queensland next Saturday night before the Cowboys game. So busy period. I love Origin time, it's a busy work period for me, but love to watch really good football and help the best players develop through and hopefully, make it to the big stage one day.
A classroom to a football field. That's an interesting dynamic.
Oh, mate,
Always wanted to be a teacher?
I always wanted to. I studied and majored in sports coaching and admin at university, so I knew what sort of path I wanted to go down. I then, obviously had a football career, and then once that finished, sort of knew where I wanted to go. I've been coaching every year since I retired, so that's where I wanted to go down and throw the administration and the management side into it in my role at the moment, and I'm kind of where I always wanted to be. So it's really good time.
Living the dream.
Kind of, yes.
This is Lele. He's living the dream so far.
They're playing well. Northern Visions have to do way too much defence, and you can just see that it's starting to take its toll.
They come short. A metre away from the goal line. Searching for another try before the full-time hooter goes in the background. As we count down to the Tier 1 Grand Final, featuring Illawarra and Canberra. What a phenomenal effort for the Bidgie region to be represented across the whole card here today, the Bidgie Bulls, and of course Canberra is also a part of that region as well. So things are going well in that part of the world for the Bidgie boys and the administrators and everybody involved. That was a nice catch out there from Hayden Crouch.
Well read from Crouch. Then he tucked in behind the line. He could read it coming. He tucked in behind the line, positioned himself perfectly.
This is Joel Harrison. Understand he's from Scone, up there in the Hunter Valley.
Yeah, Group 21 boy, which is where I was born and raised. So,
makes another one. Darren Albert up from Scone.
Yeah, Albie's from Scone, correct.
Seen plenty of Newcastle Knight players come from that part of the world as well, and Badeiras and those fellas. John's brothers out of Cessnock.
Yeah.
Good old Goanners. Got a new stadium up there in the Newcastle Rugby League. If you get the chance, you probably already have, but
yeah, I have.
Very impressive facility up there. Probably the best in the Newcastle Rugby League at the moment going around. And of course, the Newcastle Rugby League has gone away from their traditional home ground for the grand final this year. They're going to play it at the Hunters Stadium. So, talking point in Newcastle at the moment. Lost ball here from Riverina. Dived on by the Tigers here. 21 metres out from their own goal line as we go inside the last 6 minutes here on Grand Final Day 2015 for the Tier 2 Country Championships.
Yeah, there's starting to be some bit of lazy football played out there. I think, the amount of work both teams have done here is starting to take its toll, and they're both looking at the clock now, I think, and hoping that it hurries up and finishes, I think.
The Tigers continuing to roll it down to the 40-metre line of Riverina. Nice crowd building in here for the Tier 1 Grand Final. We're only 40 minutes away from that one. Milne going away and collecting the ball. Now, you don't see that every day.
That was very clever.
He nearly got everything caught up in between his legs. But the main thing was he was able to hold onto the football.
Bit of basketball skill there, catching it and moving it through his legs.
Mate, go get some of that super glue, blue tack, whatever he's got there. Give us some. You might be able to take that to Fiji. Possibly. That is for sure. As we got Chock Anderson back in the commentary box.
You want to say something, Chock?
Chock, he always loves a word.
Oh, thank you very much, Jamie. The number one coach in the country, just been here. So he thinks he's a fair coach, but I think I was a bit better than him.
I shouldn't have handed him the microphone.
He loves that microphone.
Yep, he got me.
Of course, Chock, Newcastle just around the corner from where I am.
Mate, from what he tells us, he owns Newcastle.
Well, he owns the pub and the tap. 30 metres out from the line. South Newcastle would go broke if it wasn't for Chock. Has the ball now over there on the eastern side of the field here, Jamie. Not long on the clock to go.
No.
And he loves a drop or two of prestigious wine. So keep an eye on him after 5 o'clock today, because he knows where the vineyards are around here as well, I think.
I've got no doubt he does.
You going along for the ride with him?
No, mate. Yep. Coaching staff, we're all out of here today. We only got to stay one night, so but I'm sure he'll be here for the whole weekend.
He's had a big week, Chuck. Been to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. He's attended the funeral as well in Wagga last week of Ferner, and been a sad week, of course, for Country Rugby League.
Yeah, he's a good man, Dave Barnhill, and Barnhill Senior, and Dave Barnhill Junior. He was my coach a couple of years ago. Was Dave Barnhill Junior, and when we went to South Africa with the Country First, and he's a great man. I've had a great relationship with him now, and very saddened to hear the news.
It was, and of course the funeral was held in Wagga Wagga, wasn't it?
It was yesterday.
A few days ago, yesterday. So our condolences to Dave Barnhill family. Sad news, and of course, at one stage in his administration career, he was in charge of the Country Rugby League and steering the competition to where we're heading in 2015 and beyond. And now, of course, under the guidance of Terry Quinn, as Riverina, in the dying seconds of the match, minutes of the match. This is Lele. Understand he plays with the Griffith Waratahs. New South Wales Cup player, understand too, with the Bulldogs and Cronulla back at Griffiths this season.
Mighty Dogs.
They love a wolf, don't they? Woof, woof. David Skinner, of course, providing us our stats throughout the week, who's the CRL regional manager. McCarthy couldn't quite put the ball where he intended it to go, and of course that was closer to the in-goal area. So not long on the clock now. He was trapped. I hope you don't think you're trapped in this commentary box.
No, not at all, mate.
You're all right? You got a few minutes to go?
I've got 2 minutes 20 in me, and then the selectors will get together again, have a bit of a chat about players that stood out in this game. And
speaking of players, rattle off a few names. Who has impressed you in this one?
Oh, mate, I think there's a couple of forwards out there that have done a great job. I think, as I mentioned before, I think the captain for Nick Skinner. Yeah, Nick Skinner. I think he's been great for him. He's really led with his actions, and as I said before, I'm sure he's led with his words. Some of the boys from the Northern Division side that have stood up over the forwards, Dan Ritter and Dan Hagen, or Ben Hagen, they've both played some pretty good footy. And I think the six out here for Riverina, Rose, I think he's played pretty well as well.
The Englishman, he's been a workhorse, hasn't he? Got a good offload at him, but he was able to lose it on that occasion, though.
Threw it straight back into the bloke who was tackling him.
He did. So only 1 minute to go here. Riverina in control by 16 points, 32-16. 1 minute, 6 to go.
It's been a bit of a flowing game up either end, and I just think Riverina have taken the opportunities a bit more than and been a little bit more adventurous than Northern Division today. But over the last month of the country championships, I think both these sides definitely deserve to be here. They've been the best two sides, and there's a lot of players in there that have really stood up across both teams.
Well, this is Hayden Crouch.
Really good run with 40 seconds to go and finding that energy.
Griffiths throwing it back into the middle of the park to find Marcus March, who's from Aberdeen, taking the tackle there of a very versatile utility player who has represented the Country Bulls last year in Aaron Burns. Ball's on the ground, scooped up, still play on. Eastern side of the field, this is where they work. Have they got one last try in them?
They have.
Donnelly's away, and Donnelly will score for the Tigers, a consolation try with 6 seconds to go here in the match.
Yeah, they've thrown the ball around a little bit there, and obviously have been rewarded. There's a few of my selectors stand up and have a look at me having a chat in here while they're out there working.
Well, Jamie Feeney, coach of Central Coast.
No, that's Jamie Forbes.
Jamie Forbes, actually. Just giving you a big...
He's the country seconds coach, mate.
Is he? Right, fantastic.
Yep, so
he's come along for the ride as well.
He has, mate. We have to watch all the senior games and select the players from all tiers to play in our top teams. So it's been good catching up with the boys again and having a good chat, watching some really good football.
Rightio, mate. We'll appreciate everything you've done in the last half hour right here on the stream, and good luck for whatever comes your way in the next few weeks, and of course you'll be steering the ship for the younger guys across the
October.
next few weeks.
First week of October, mate, over in Fiji. So if you want to watch some football, guys, start planning your holidays, Pete, and I'll see you over there.
I'll bring the sunscreen. Good on you,
mate.
Jamie.
Cheers,
Feeney
boys.
there. Appreciate that. Here in the commentary box, valuable time. So it's full time here in the Tier 2 Rugby League Grand Final. Riverina defeating the Tigers by 32 points to 22. We'll take a break. Don't go anywhere. We've got the big one coming up shortly. Illawarra and Canberra. A break and back for the Tier 1 Grand Final after the break.
For Greater Northern Tigers, tries to Tim Smith, Aaron Donnelly, Joey Griffiths.
1-2.
And 3 conversions by Matt Mooney. Final score going 32-22 in favour of Riverina over Greater Northern Tigers. Just a reminder, the Mudgee Dragons will be selling doubles prior to the next game, and the home team will be Canberra, the away team Illawarra. Congratulations to the Riverina team on their Tier 2 championship, and congratulations to the Riverina Tigers on the great game of football. Firstly, I'd like to introduce Dan Gruder to come and have a seat, captain of the Greater Northern Tigers. I'd just like to congratulate Riverina on the win. Good tough game. Better the officials too. And to my boys, bad luck. Probably a bit slow at blocks and a bit unlucky, so well done and congratulations everybody. Next, I'd like to introduce Susan Young, the Chief Operating Officer for the National Rugby League, just to say a few words.
Thanks very much. Thank you for having me today. It's been great. We started the morning off with a Women's League session, which was fantastic. So we call out to the Women's League who are sitting up in the box there. And a great game. What a great facility here in Mudgee. And congratulations to the Riverina boys. Well done.
So if I could get Nick, the captain of the Riverina side. Here's the photo from Susan. Yeah, thanks to the Tigers, good tough game, good players amongst us. Like to thank all the Riverina boys. It's been an enjoyable month. You're a real good bunch of blokes, Kaylee, all the management. Cheers. Thanks.
Pretty high. No, it's not, Neil. It is. The cat did it. That's true. They stay calm. We do this all the time.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
You'll be fine.
Sometimes only a real person will understand.
Hi. I've been in a bit of an accident.
Do you need any emergency services?
No, I think we've got that covered.
Luckily, you can speak to someone at AAMI 24/7.
When I played professional footy, it was all about the training and what I ate. Champions don't run on junk food. So if you want to get the most out of your game and your life, you've got to put the right stuff in. Don't undo all your hard work with what you eat and drink. And after a game, think fruit and water. When the whistle blows, make sure you finish with the right stuff.
Authorised by the New South Wales Government, Sydney.